Good morning, true crime friends. How you doing? Listen, Brian Walshe, trial day 7. Lord, this man gets on my nerves. Does he get on your nerves? He gets on my nerves. Now, am I enjoying this trial? Yes. Not because poor Anna has lost her life, but because it's just a parade of all the really, really dumb things that Brian Walshe has done. That brings me a little bit of inner joy. But we're going to talk about what happened on trial day 7. But first, you know what you need to do. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it out, and hype the channel. YouTube gives you 3 hypes a week. I'm still not clear what they do with these hypes. And if I can get a couple of those, that would be great. Me and you, we're going to get to 30,000 subscribers together. Okay. So picture it. Yesterday, trial day 7 for one Brian Walshe. And the crime lab guy is up on the stand. And I was like, okay, what are we doing here? And so on cross-examination, the defense was like, hey boy, hey. You know, in judicial language. And he was just like, so on this rug, you found white powder. What was this white powder? And I was like, cocaine? Was it a narcotic? Is Brian Walshe a narcotics enthusiast? That would kind of explain some stuff. And then the guy said, oh, it was baking powder. No. Sir, hi, it's me, Kathy, the gossip from the internet. I would like to correct the record here. It was not baking powder. It was baking soda. You know how I know? Number one, Brian bought a big, like 20, 40, 1,000-pound bag of baking soda. Baking soda takes out smells. Baking powder makes cake rise. And so it's, unless you're down at the bakery store or like the restaurant supply, you can't get a giant thing of baking powder. That's not a thing, sir. Now, when he said it, I was as a person who cooks and who enjoys time in my kitchen, I was entirely distracted. And honestly, I was like, if he got this wrong, what else did they get wrong? I don't think it's going to sideline the case, but I'm just like, it was not baking powder. It was baking soda. I know because I saw the receipts. I have been watching the trial, but the crime tech said, to the best of my knowledge, it was baking powder. Sir, that's because you don't bake cakes. If you bake cakes, you knew, you have just told on yourself, although it kind of doesn't matter. Then the defense was like, there were other cleaning products in the kitchen, right? Some of those products were not used. Is that correct? They were new and unopened. And the crime scene tech was like, right, yes, some of them were unopened. Hey, Mr. Tipton, very lovely defense attorney who talks real super duper loud. You know that doesn't matter, right? Because he used a lot of product. Look, most people are murdering on a budget. This Mama Luke was not. His wife was dead. He had her credit card and he was like, charge it. Let me tap my card. He was tapping all over town. He overbought. Most people want to save a little money. They go down to the Walmart red rum aisle and then they just get exactly what they need and nothing more. But he was just like, I'll take 12 of these and 100 of those and give me 200 gallons of baking soda, not powder, because that takes smells out of things. Also, if you look at that videotape closely, Brian Walshe went shopping with a list. Sir, look. Of all the dumb criminals, this man, the audacity, those Google searches were a shame before the Lord. But you were like, okay, Google, thank you so much for telling me everything I would need to disassemble and clean up blood and make smells go away or whatever. Could you also put all those items in a list? Is Google not a mandated reporter? Although Google did tell the police, so thank you for helping us out. Look, Google is a friend of law enforcement. If you didn't know, you better know. Sir, you should have been Googling on incognito, but I am very, very glad that you did not, because now we can see all your little Google searches. He was like, okay, according to Google, I'm going to need a hatchet. Where is the hatchet? Okay, let me mark this off my lip. Sir. You up in the Home Depot with a mask on and gloves. That's not suspicious at all in 2023. Sir, the pandy has passed and we out here swapping germs once again. So you look suspicious. Hang on. And then because he's not a true crime fan, he did not know skip that self-checkout, land of a zillion cameras. This boy thinks he's slick. He's checking out at the self-checkout, and he's like, I'm gonna stand to the side where the camera can't get me, and I'm gonna peek over and look and see what the price of my items is, and then I'm gonna pay with cash. You know how we know this? Because the camera from the self-checkout across the way got you in full color video. This was not grainy. This was not pixelated. It was like we were standing there. I was like, is he this dumb? You would be hard pressed to find somebody this dumb, but here we are. So he got mops, he got pails, he got brooms, 65,000 of everything, some of which he did not use. Okay. And then the defense attorney was like, in the kitchen, in the cereal cabinet up there above the refrigerator where you found that knife that had been bleached within an inch of its life, because that's not suspicious at all. Weren't there peroxide wipes that were unopened? And the crime tech person was like, yeah, first of all, they make peroxide wipes. Who makes them? Where can you buy them? What can you clean up with those? I'm fascinated by peroxide wipes. I never heard of them. I've seen peroxide in the squirt bottle, and the kind in like the squeeze bottle. Well, I'm using my big girl words today, goodness. But I never heard of a peroxide wipe. Can I get a coupon code for those, please? And thank you. Anyway, those are still in the kitchen, unopened, up in the cereal/knife storage cabinet. A super bleached out knife in the cabinet above the refrigerator. Not sus, but don't look at that. This entire defense is basically, look over here, look over there. Don't look at all that very, very incriminating evidence. So we're just going to bypass the giant knife that's been bleached within an inch of its life, and we're going to look at the unopened peroxide bottles. Okay, great. Defense also points out, you didn't find blood spatter in this house, did you? And the crime tech was like, no, we didn't. Sir, this is not a smoking gun. We saw that he knows how to clean up things. He was scrubbing and wiping. Why do you think he bought all those cleaners? Because he was cleaning up blood. The internet told him how to do it. And then the defense was like, and you didn't find any luminol, did you? When people commit crimes, right? This is what I need to know. Is it usual for them to go buy luminol and spray it around the house so that they could see where there might be blood? This man was not smart enough to not Google all of this stuff on just out here on Beyonce's internet, all open and wide. You think he knew where to buy luminol? Can you make luminol at home? Will your ALEXA device give you a recipe for how to make it? I'm guessing no. Reportedly, allegedly, there was only blood in the basement. Okay. Yikes. Look, I have a new theory of the crime. Let me share it with you. Yesterday, I said that it was the fraudster in the bedroom with the knife. I've changed my mind about what I think happened. This is what I think happened. Because they found Anna. Well, they didn't find Anna, but they found her clothes, like regular street clothes, including boots. Do you wear hunter boots, like rubber ducky boots in your house? I don't. This is what I think happened. I think that the friend left. They were in the kitchen having a discussion. Some wine had flowed. Brian was mad and he her in the kitchen. This is why I think that. Number one, she would have still been dressed in regular clothes. Those are the regular clothes that we found in the bags. Also, that one son, the 6-year-old, if there was any sort of like extra noise, he would wake up. So if he did the wet works downstairs in the kitchen, the kids were less likely to get up. And plus, Brian doesn't seem like he's in that good a shape. Anna probably could have carried Brian. Brian, I think, would have struggled to carry Anna. So I think he unalived her in the kitchen and then dragged her to the basement. That's a much shorter trip, and the kids wouldn't hear the noise from that. And then after she was downstairs, he disassembled her. Additionally, there was a big spot on the bedroom floor where all like the finish was gone from the floor. I think he was soaked in bodily fluids and stuff. So he came upstairs and he took off his clothes and he left them on the floor. You know, he's not hanging up his clothes. He's the kind of dude who leaves everything on the floor. He left all his clothes on the floor and he went and took a shower and he got cleaned up and he came back and he was like, dear Uncle Google, is it better to wash crime scene clothes or is it better to throw them away? And he did one of those, either wash them or threw them away. But he was like, oh, there's a blood stain on the floor. A big one. How am I? wait, Uncle Google told me that I could use peroxide, and he did buy 1,600,000 things of peroxide, and he squirted it all over the place, or bleach or whatever, and that took the finish off the floor. To me, this is what happened. So it was the scumbag in the kitchen with the knife, not in the bedroom. And I think my evidence, based on what I've seen on the court TV, proves that that's what happened. Now, obviously, I'm not on the jury, sadly, because I would have convicted him already. Although when the judge is like, are you keeping an open mind? I would be like, yes, my mind is very open. I'm just listening to everything. No, my mind is closed. It's like a steel trap. It's done. He's done. Like, done. Okay, anyway. Back on the stand. I just had to give you my theory before I forgot, because, child, it just fly right out of my head. Please hold. The crime scene tech is asked, did you piece the rug back together so that you could examine it? What? Again, the look over there defense is fully in effect. Did you piece the rug back together? No. Did they need to? Is there some compelling reason why they would have needed to, tape this rug back together, lay it back together to see if there's a body-shaped blood stain? Maybe he did her in the living room. That's why there was blue painter's tape and stuff in the living room. He killed her on the first floor, if you ask me. Anyway. The defense attorney goes on, the knife you found, the one that was up in the cereal cabinet, it was screened, but it was not tested, right? And the guy was like, right. We screened it, but we learned the day before you can screen things like, there's a reddish brown substance. Are we going to save it for DNA? Or are we going to try and test it to see if this is actually blood? If there's a very, very small de minimis sample, then you just have to save it and test it later. Also, there was blood on all kinds of things. And that knife, we saw the knife. It had been bleached within an inch of its life. He probably just soaked it in bleach. Not even bleach and water, just bleach. Because that knife looked like it has been through some things. So he was like, the lab tech guy was like, no, we didn't test the knife. Okay, look over there. So then the defense team was like, right, the slippers, they had red-brown stains, right? But do you know how they got there? When he killed her, you mean? Aside from that, yeah, no, I don't have no idea how they got there. Apparently, the slippers were found in a trash bag that was in a trash compactor. And this lawyer opened his mouth and is like, right, if they were in a trash bag, there could have been other bloody things, and they smushed together. And that's how blood got on them. So you don't know how the blood got on the slippers. Were you there? Do you have a video recording? And the lab tech guy was like, no, I don't. I understand, good defense attorney, Mr. Tipton. You have so little to work with. Painfully little. But this is kind of ridiculous. And I'm like, okay, I don't. Even if they trash compacted it, how did that amount of blood get on those slippers in that trash compactor where Brian was recorded on his phone, or his phone pinged near that trash container? All the blood was from him and his wife. I was like, okay, finally. Sure. Finally, the crime scene guy gets off the stand, and they have these DNA experts. And I'm like, oh, they're going to tell us the results of the DNA. Oh, if you thought that, you'd be wrong. I mean, they kind of did, but they kind of didn't. They had 400,000 DNA witnesses on the stand. This is what you need to know. Down to the lab, they're like, we have all this DNA we need to process today. So you, Sam, you're going to do step 1. And you, Julie, you're going to do step 2. And you, Ed, you're going to do step 4. It's a 4-step process. We heard about the 4-step process a whole lot. And people will get up there, this is my name. This is my background in education. I did step 1 and step 3. And then somebody else will come up. I did step 2 and step 4. And then these items were processed in different batches. So for the batch that included, the hatchet and the slippers, you did steps 1 and 3. I was like, okay, what are we doing? It took a long time to explain that they tested the slippers, the rug, the Tyvek suit, some tools, and there was gauze that was stuck to a Band-Aid or something like that. All these different people tested all these different things. It took a cast of thousands to work their way through this DNA test. And I was like, okay, we get it. You tested thoroughly. I understand that this is necessary. I'm going to go to lunch and I'm going to come back and y'all just let me know when you up to something good, because I really just want to see the good parts of the trial, not this tedious part. Then the judge stood up. She has really good hair. Anyway, the judge stood up and read a stipulation. And I was like, wait. Apparently, when Brian was arrested in the art fraud case, hang on, because he out here committing all kinds of crimes. When he was arrested in the art fraud case, they took his DNA. They also took his wife's DNA. Now look, if my husband got arrested, which I doubt that he will, but if he did, y'all gonna take his DNA and do what you have to do. What that got to do with me? Why do you need my DNA? Oh, I love that man like I love cooked food the way I love my husband. What I'm not going to do is be giving the FBI my DNA. No, thank you. Net 9 naka. Look, people in the members only spaces heard about what happened when me and my husband had to go to court. Oh, yes. Recently, I had to attend Zoom traffic court. You think I wasn't bitter? I was bitter. Please forgive this aside. It will be brief. My husband parked in a handicap spot in my car and got a ticket. So the ticket came to the house in my name. Excuse me? I do not. No. So we got to go to Zoom court. He's like, you going to go with me? And I was like, what this got to do with me? And so he was like, no, because it's in your name, but I'm going to take the responsibility. I'm going to tell the judge, blah, blah, blah. I was bitter. So finally we sit and we wait in Zoom court. Oh, the way I wish there was a videotape of this. So they called our name, Mr. and Mrs. Gossip. And I was like, the guy says, the prosecutor, Kathy Gossip, did you park in a handicap spot in Paramus on such and such a day? Now, if you know me at all, I am not shy or retiring. I said, no, this got nothing to do with me. No, it was my husband. My husband was in my car. I was home that day. I don't even know why he was parking like that. He is not handicapped. No, this is not, it's his ticket. Now, look, we're sitting right here where I'm sitting right now. It's me and my husband right here. My husband is just like, why can't she just shut up? I'm surprised he didn't take bonky and was like, and assault me right on that camera. But I was like, we got officers of the court. What I'm not going to do is go down for no parking ticket, right? So the prosecutor started laughing. Actually, I think the other people on Zoom started laughing too, because I soliloquied just a little bit to explain. This ain't me. It was not me. It had nothing to do with me. So the prosecutor was laughing. He was just like, okay, Mr. Gossip, was it you, my husband? Yes, it was me. And then the prosecutor was like, Mr. Gossip, I get a feeling that you're going to get more grief for at home than you're going to get from the court. And my husband was like, he. So you better say delightful things about your wife, because I'm still sitting right here next to you and that car is in my name. Anyway, so then we go over to see the judge, and the judge is sitting there for a minute. And then she's just like, Mr. Gossip, she's like, wait, let me call Gossip. Didn't say a first name. And I was like, this heifer better not open her mouth and say Kathy, because it was not me. So she was just like, Gossip, did you park in a handicap parking spot in Paramus on such? I was like, no, it was not me. It had nothing to do with me. I was at the house. It was his. It had nothing to do with me. And so she was like, okay, she goes to her, do you plead guilty? He was like, yes. He's like, dear Black Jesus, let this be over soon, because my wife got a big mouth and she don't know how to shut up. And then the judge was like, okay, are you waiving your rights? Blah, blah, blah. Are you confessing freely with no duress? This is me. My husband lied to the court when he said, yeah, no, there's no duress. There was a lot of duress. There was tremendous duress from the woman who loves him with all her heart. All of that to say, let the FBI come to my house looking for my DNA. Nope, it was not me. It had nothing to do with me. That was him. It was him with the art fraud. I don't even know how to use eBay. He's going to get arrested and they have to swab her cheek. I bet you that. Oh, I'm mad just thinking about it. This woman is not even alive and I'm still mad. Okay, please. We have gotten way off track. I need my fan. Anyway, so they took Anna's DNA. Hang on. Bear with me. They took Anna's DNA during Brian's art fraud case. Is my ceiling fan on? It's not on high enough. I'm hot. So they had her DNA on file. Okay, good for her. But I would be mad. I was take my toothbrush. If I'm dead, just go and take my toothbrush. Don't be swabbing my cheek behind nothing he did. I'm not a ride or die kind of girl. I'm just not. If you go to prison, I'm not going to visit you. I'm just letting you know now. You know who you're dealing with. Anyway, so the FBI had Anna's DNA on file. So they could compare her DNA to the DNA that they got off, like the hammer and the knife and the whatever else. And so the defense was like, right, her DNA was on the stuff, but you can't say how her DNA got on the stuff. And if I was this tech, I would have been like, from when he killed her? But the tech was like, no, I cannot say how. I don't think I have the demeanor to work in the court system or the lab system. Anyway, and so the defense is like, you got DNA from blood and skin and hair and whatever else. The tech was like, yes. And then the defense was like, but you can't say which one. You don't know if this DNA came from her skin or her hair or from those gallons of blood that were on the floor, do you? And the tech was like, no, I can't say. Look over there. That's his whole defense. Anyway, then finally they had this dude from Home Goods up there, and he was like, hi, my name is whatever his name was. Here's a video of Brian purchasing stuff from Home Good. Now, he's in the line queue. Now, look, hi, people from the U.S. In other countries, they call the line the queue. And you know how when you go to Home Goods or Marshall's, TJ Maxx, they have that long thing that like snakes you around, and it's full of stuff that you could buy. Oh, the tempting line queue. So they have all these little knickknacks you could buy. You see Brian walking slowly, looking, oh, look, there's candles, there's this, there's that. You see him buying fresh rugs and some candles, right? And so they were like, okay, we see him on video buying all these things. How did he get the money? How did he pay for them? He paid for them with a gift card. Well, the detective detected and was like, oh, well, let's investigate this gift card. His phone pinged at the store. They looked at the video. He's at the store. They know from the video what time he was at the store. They know he was at register 12. Let's pull up this transaction from register 12. Here we go. Rugs and mango candles. Ooh, mango, you say. Who's the manufacturer? I love a good candle. Anyway, so they were like, okay, yes, he paid with a gift card. Wait. He paid with a gift card because Anna, at another time in another place, had bought some stuff at TJ Maxx. I was yesterday years old when I realized that TJ Maxx and Home Goods were connected. No wonder those two stores usually sit side by side with each other. At least in Bergen County, they do. Anyway, so she had bought some stuff at like TJ Maxx or Marshall's or something like that. And she returned it without a receipt. And so she got this gift card. And Brian is using her gift cards. Let me tell you something. What you're not going to do is spend my gift cards up. I love a gift card. I'm dead and you going to spend my gift card? I mean, it's not like she was there to complain. But the fact that not only did he unfortunately unalived her in the kitchen and drag her to the basement, in my opinion, he spent her gift card? You can't be defiling people's gift cards. I know some people are like, oh, we just throw them all in the drawer so that whoever is going to Target or whatever can spend them. Not at my house. My gift card stays right in my wallet so that I can compulsively shop for things I don't need. Thank you so much. Anyway, he used Anna's gift cards. And I personally think he should be convicted on the strength of he has defiled her gift cards. Please hold. On cross-examination, Mr. Tipton, who's out here doing the Lord's work, who's out here doing the devil's work, was like, right. So she got these gift cards when she returned some stuff that she bought from another store, right? And the guy was like, right. And he's like, do you have video of Anna buying or returning the things from the other store? What? Sir, we understand the look over there defense. It might also be called squirrel. Like, please pay attention to those things over there. Why do we need a video of the return? We don't need that. That's not necessary. In my mind, they have proved that he has done terrible, terrible things. He's a terrible person. In my mind, he stinks. I feel like I can smell him through the TV. Convict him. Convict him right now. I am not on this jury. The jury is clearly not watching this video. If they are watching it, they should not. They're going to get in trouble. So I'm just telling you my opinion. I'm not trying to sway the jury. I am just explaining my thoughts and feelings on the entire situation. He's guilty on the strength of the gift cards, and he smells bad, and he has a murdery face. Also that evidence and stuff. Anyway, Up next in court, with court wrapped for the day after the home goods thing, and I had to calm down from the illicit use of gift cards and from the thought that the FBI had her DNA on file. Ooh, I would be mad. Anyway, so the final guest that they had the night before, the night Anna lost her life, is going to take the stand. But first, they need to do like a voir dire of Mr. Moot Loop, Fruit Loop, Boot Loop. I don't know his name. They keep saying his name. I'm looking forward to him coming to trial and spelling it, because I'm like, Mutlow, Mootlow. I never heard of this name. I don't know how names work though. I have a real simple name, Kathy, and so I'm not that complicated. Anyway, so that guy is going to come to court and be voir dire. That means they're going to ask him some questions outside of the presence of the jury. And then the jury is going to come in and they're going to ask him some questions in the presence of the jury. And then the state is expected to rest. What is Mr. Boot Loop going to say? I'm dying to find out. And then the defense will start their case in chief. Will Brian Walshe take the stand? Will we get to see him sit up on our TV and tell us lies? Will he testify in the narrative form? You know what it means when somebody gets up and testifies in the narrative. Lies, lies, lies. That means that they up there lying. Their lawyer knows they're lying. The lawyer can't be part of the lies. So the lawyer is like, is there anything you would like to say? And then they just say their lies. And then the other side gets to cross-examine them. Robert Tellis, aka the Kitten Hill Killer, testified in the narrative. Honey, it was a sight to behold. Oh, I have a whole Robert Tellis playlist. Go on over and look at it. That Kitten Hill Killer, he's in prison right now. I believe also in Florida. Oh no, that was Nevada. Anyway, I am dying to see Sticky on the stand. I mean, I am dying to see Brian Walshe on the stand. Listen. Ooh, will his mama take the stand too? I have so many questions. But look, we're going to keep an eye out. We're going to look for Mr. Boot Loop today. Mutlow, Fruit Loop. I don't know. We're going to keep watching. And you know how we do. You stay safe out there, and I will see you next crime. Bye.